Hmm?
Thanks. Good morning, listeners. You're listening to Ammar and
Jalf.
live on our weekly radio show right here on Spice FM and on the World Wide Web.
And each week, we're trying to bring some views, news, and one or two clues from the business world.
Asian Business Connections aims to connect, support, promote the Asian and wider community.
And we'll be talking shop quite literally, not just corner shops, whether you're looking to start a business, have an existing business, or you just want to talk business. We can help.
We can't help. We can't help, and we do help. Absolutely. So it's Friday, September the 22nd. Week flies by. Well, so tell me, Jeff, where were you last week and why? How was it?
Oh, just went for a little break to the Middle East, Dubai, just for a few days, just to get a bit of sun and relax, put your feet up. Yeah, it was good. Nice weather. It's so different, Ammar, I think, in that the perception of going to a country that's so developed, and when you come back to the UK, it feels underdeveloped. And that was never the case, was it? Even when you land in the airport, you come into the toilets and the stairways, everything. It's just so it seems to be light years apart.
And it's mad, isn't it?
Mm.
As you say, when you cross to these incredibly developed and modern places, recognizing that we were the foremost developed country in the world, right? Then our standards were considered to be the best.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it's frightening when you go to these countries that the cost of everything it's so much higher, but yet the people seem to be okay with it. And then we're going there and we're looking at the cost of, going for a meal and thinking, oh my God, but there seems to be lots of people enjoying that environment. It's very, very vibrant. And I'm thinking, how on earth have people got so much money? What are we doing wrong?
Well, obviously, I think if you consider how hard we work, the money coming in doesn't relate with the amount of money you're then left with.
Yep.
For me, that's really, really a bitter pill to swallow, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean they've still got zero income tax. So when you go, I'm a part of a network, and I met three individuals, and interestingly, there was no, and they're residents of Dubai, but there was no. Oh yeah, let me keep the bill to claim it back to a company. They didn't have any of that because it's less important to them because of the tax situation. So whatever you earn is what they have. Yes, if you go out here and there may be some little taxes, but nothing in comparison to what we pay. And I think that does give them a bit of a it gives a big incentive. And when you consider, Ammar, the reason why we do pay the taxes for the NHS is probably in my mind when I'm thinking about what do I pay taxes for. There's two things. One is the NHS, and B is the social security for those that are less well-to-do, to give them that social security, right? So the NHS, I would much rather, as they do in Dubai, you pay $2.5 grand a year for an insurance, and it's all private. The service and the standards are far better. There's no Qs and A, B, C, and D, because I'm paying a far more than £2,500 a year in taxes. A lot more, but you know, for £2,500, you get the insurance and you get your medical stuff taken care of, and there is no social security because the country is everyone needs to work and everybody works because there is no social security system there. Interestingly, I'm wondering if the social security system wasn't here in the UK, would people then just say, "Look, I don't have any choice. I've got to go and work."
Well, yeah, just the behaviors follow particular types of environments. So does a social service, you know, sort of lead to people being reluctant to work? I think I'd like to think that's few and far between. But I mean, in all honesty, I really don't know is the answer. Um, but you're right to sort of say, and second part of that is, God forbid any of us needing any assistance. But isn't it a wonderful thing that if we ever did, assistance exists? No, so I think it's about recognizing some of that. I mean, ultimately, as you say, yeah, having a one-off arrangement. I'd much rather just someone said to me, pay this one-off annual thing, contribution. I mean, the other thing is as a country, our public service and public services cost so much and unnecessarily, I would say. You know, the levels of bureaucracy, the levels that exist. If you went in with an entrepreneurial or an innovation approach, you could and should be able to say, how might we do things differently? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how was Dubai? How are things out there?
I think it's, I mean, they obviously, I mean, I think it's very, very vibrant. It's very vibrant. There's a lot of people from around the world that are moving there to pursue new lives, new careers. I think obviously the Dubai media would tell you so much about, yes, you know, we're the greatest country on the planet, but it was nice to meet locals out of there who are not representing the government, that are there to talk about their businesses, and they were all very, very happy there. I've got a friend who used to live in Newcastle, who I met up with, and they just say that there's no reason for me to come back because my lifestyle is far better. I'm saving more money. I earn more money. I save more money. And just the general lifestyle in terms of standard of living is far superior. Obviously, the weather is there, and I think some people, you know, the warm weather. I guess you have a little bit more of a spring in your step when the weather is nice. I think that's just natural. But obviously, my question to them was, what happens when the weather is really, really crazy? And he said that, well, look, most of everywhere you go is air conditioned anyway. You know, so if you're going from building one to building B, it's usually air conditioned. So, you know, it doesn't really get in the way because you adjust. I guess you're not going to go out for walks, you know, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, because in that, you know, when it gets really, really hot. So other than that, I think, you know, there is obviously a big push.
Do we go out for walks here?
I think if we did, Ammar, the point is, if we did, we wouldn't think about it. You wouldn't think, oh, hold on, it's so hot, I can't go out for a walk right now. If you imagine the weather that they have every single day in Dubai, if that weather landed here in the UK, imagine there would be all of this global warming messages from the news, and it would be everywhere. So, but that's just been how it is over there for centuries. But I think it's an interesting place. It's interesting how what I see is you have all of these. I see all of these businessmen from around the world that are doing so much business there,
Yeah.
and it is.
They are doing so well. It's like
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it?
yeah, but it's just. I think it's just incredible how people from all around the world they've landed there and all doing business together. When you see, people, business people walking around, in their groups, you can't actually work out which country they're from.
Yeah.
Because they're all mixed. You don't know whether they're from Australia or whether they're Europeans or whether they're Americans. So yeah, it's a very interesting place. Very, very interesting.
It's a place. So well done. It's good.
Am I your
Be able to get some sun.
Sorry, say that again?
I think it's particularly important to be able to get out and get some sun.
I think so. The your health and getting that direct vitamin D, I think it does a world of good.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And it's interesting because I went to London for the day on Wednesday, and it the weather was horrific. Right.
What?
So I mean, early start, got the train down. Must admit, I do love our LNER service compared to any other service.
Yeah.
Maybe the Zuma trains aren't amazing as you'd like them to be, but they're good quality. They're one of the newest fleets, and they're fast, and it's efficient. Yeah, I sort of got the 8 o'clock train, got into London just after 10:30 or quarter to 11. Just anyway, less than 3 hours. Managed to do a few hours of quality work because I was sat focused. Got to the other side and had a thick overcoat, things like that. And it was hot. It was muggy-ish. Anyway, met investment bank, met a hotelier, and then went to the House of Lords and spoke at the House of Lords. And it was great. But we were at Westminster Plaza, had lunch there, and then walked across Westminster Bridge, and it started raining, and it came in on an angle. So we're like a drowned rat by the time I got to the other side of the bridge, and then went into the House of Lords, and it's always like, it's always security and things like that. Rightly so. Understand. And it's a nice massage you get. They give you a good feel up. I'm sure somebody behind me said, "Oh, I normally pay for this." But, anyway, it's, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful space. But then coming out of there, on the underground, it's funny how many people don't get the underground. Yeah. For me, it's not a nice experience because it's always hot. It's always dark. It's always damp. It's like 100 years old now. But it's the most efficient place. It's weird to get across London.
Yeah, it is.
So the weather, and then came out and got soaked again. I had a paper bag with some gifts for the kids and things like that, and stood on the underground platform, and it was a big hole in the bag, and I'm like, oh, it was paper, and you don't realize it, those things, do you?
But it's so hard to carry all of these things when they're not in the bag.
Well, it's this shift from green all of this environmental and plastics and the impact of plastics, and in particular the ocean. And I absolutely get and agree with that 100%. The thing for me is though the impact of that from a practical perspective. At least with the plastic, you can use it again. You should. Now these big lights in the car. They're always in the car, and I always use them. No, and it's actually because they're big, because they're solid, because they're robust. You tend to use them all the time, and they're good for having things in the house and everything else. These paper bags, my gosh, it's if it rains, then you've got a hole in one and you've lost everything, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I
I
mean,
think we need to come up with alternative solutions. Is like, look,
well, they talk about
plastics.
they talk about good plastics and all of those other things, but I'm not convinced by it all. But yeah, I mean, there seems to be so many things that are out there.
So on the football, Jeff, what's happening with the football?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, overall, we have to be really proud of the result, and it was a solid performance. Well, solid. I use the word solid. I don't think that we played very well at all. And Milan had 25 shots, Ammar, and we had 1. So it was definitely backs against the wall. A really heroic performance from the defenders to keep it at 0-0. But I just think that apart from the Villa game, we haven't played well at all this season, and we're not clicking. And hopefully we begin to click, because if we don't click, then the other teams are going to run away ahead of us in terms of points. And imagine, Ammar, once you're in the Champions League, you kind of want to be in it again next season, and you want it to be like a regular thing. But how on earth can it be a regular thing when it's only 4 clubs that can be in it? And one of them is definitely Man City. They're already kind of there, and then you have the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool and Tottenham and Chelsea, all going to be fighting for those positions. Man United, Brighton. So, and you have to finish top 4. I think, are we going to be in Champions League next season? I mean, let's enjoy it whilst we're here. But my point is, as a team, we need to really click so that we can at least stay in the mix with the bigger teams and see where we are towards the end of the season. But hopefully, we get a bit of confidence and we entertain PSG next in the Champions League. I think it's October the 4th. October the 4th, I'm on the Wednesday.
Here.
St. James's Park, yeah.
All right, okay. That'd be good.
You probably got notification on your tickets and stuff, I would have thought.
No.
I didn't hear. Your voice is in and out, so I didn't get the last bit there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm just conscious of. Is that better? Or...
It's better. Yeah, it's better now.
Is it? All right. Okay. It must be one of these is sensitive to where you look and talk, which is really irritating, because as soon as you start like looking away like that, it doesn't. So you have to be staring at it. So you have to be doing, which is good actually, because then if I suppose it stops noise from around the background noise and things like that. So it's I got a new laptop not that long ago. It's a really good laptop.
What is it, Ammar? What kind of laptop is it?
So obviously, I'm not getting paid by Asus to do this, but I went for an Asus this time. It's
Asus.
a Zen. Asus, yeah, Asus. It's an Asus Zen book, but it's got 2 screens. So it's like really cool, because not used to using so many different screens.
Yeah.
It's the first laptop of its kind.
What do you
That's
mean?
got two
Physical,
screens.
like physically two screens?
Yeah.
So there's like a compartment in the middle. So it's actually two.
No. So you've got your traditional screen here, right? And I'm looking at you and you can see me. So screen there. And then there's another screen, which is a wide screen over the keypad.
Okay.
It's not like the same size screen, but it's a dual screen. So on the other screen, I've got like a script, or I've got my presentation, or and it's like you can pick and drop things on the same thing. So it's two different windows. It's really cool. It's really cool. And the best thing that I love about it is they're both of them are touch screens. So I like sort of picking things up and using my fingers and whatever else. So it's really functional from that perspective. And I probably spent about 3-4 months doing the research on all the laptops, because my natural instinct was going to be getting an Apple. Because I just, I've got an iPad, I've got an iPhone, I've got an iron to do the iron clothes. Have you got an iron? Iron, you get it? It's one of those new Apple devices. It's what it is, an iron. Anyway, and looked at the spec of the new Mac Pro. It was a great spec, and you can get up to like 96 sort of gigabits or whatever it is, or megahertz and things like this and whatever. But I was then thinking, when do I ever use any of it? So I then spec'd this up, and for the same specification as the Apple, so this is like 64 gig meg or whatever it is. It's got 1 terabits of data, and it's got all of this. Anyway, point was, this was half the price of the Apple, and the Apple only had one screen, and it wasn't a touch screen, things like that. So anyway, I'm just getting used to this the laptop, because tend to do is simply plug it into my screens and have a keyboard and everything else. But I must admit, as I was driving down to, not driving, as I was on the train to London, I managed to do some significant work on it. And I was just like, my gosh, the work that I managed to do sat on this laptop would normally take me a day if I wasn't focused. But because I was on the train, because I was focused, and because I had 2 screens, it was really efficient.
That's good. Well, you've
Yeah,
always had
so
super duper laptops ahead of the game.
I don't know about that. It's just
Surface Pro and all of that.
research. It's like anything. You do your research, don't you? Is what you do. You do your research. You go out, you test things, and you test drive and whatever else. So that was good. So football, we've got the Carabao Cup, is what I was saying, haven't we? Is that next
Yeah.
week?
So we're playing Sheffield United away on Sunday, and then
No.
on the Wednesday, that's in the Premier League this Sunday, and on the Wednesday we're playing Man City in the Carabao Cup. So after that, I think we're playing Burnley at home, and after that we're playing PSG. So we've got 3 home matches on the bounce, which is going to be good. But I think, Man City. I mean, it had to be Man City, didn't it, in the first round of the Carabao Cup? Any other team apart from Man City, we wouldn't have feared, but it had to be Man City. But maybe, on the Carabao Cup, they do take it seriously, but they may not put their best 11 out, and they do have some injuries as well. So hopefully, we might be able to catch them by surprise and take advantage of it being the first round of the Carabao Cup and just get through. Let's see.
Listen, if we could, wouldn't it? It'd be a good show, as in if we were able to um, beat them. Are we playing them here then? Is that the
Playing at
game
it's
that
at
I'm
home.
referring?
Oh, it's at home. Obviously, we were in the final of the Carabao Cup last season. Man City lost in the semi-finals, but Man City won it like 6 years in a row or something. So they do take the Carabao Cup very seriously. So
Right.
I think it's not going to be easy, but I think we'll give them a good go. So let's see how the match ends.
Good. Yeah. So that's football. From that, there's obviously a little bit of concern at how we're doing, how we're not sort of playing as a team. Really is the most major feedback, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're just not clicking them all. We're not clicking like we were last season, and I think it's effectively we've got Sandro Tonali who's come in and he's a fantastic player, but some players just get going from the first game. I think he just had taken his time to adapt, and the journalists keep on saying that. Well, we made a mistake in midfield. We needed a destroyer, not a decorator, and this, that, and the other. But I don't know. I think we have to trust in the management. We have to trust in the recruitment team, and just be a little bit patient. And we're prepared to be patient. But the problem is when the other teams run away from us in terms of points on the board, then we're just going to be playing catch up. And we just feel that, from my perspective, we want to just improve year on year. So the points tally we had last year, we want to try and beat that points tally this year. But it
we
is
need to get going.
Yeah, we need to get going. We need to really start kind of putting a run together.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, other news which is really, really important, I think, is the fact that the Bank of England yesterday maintained the interest rate, which was amazing, right? Because after sort of 13, 14, 15 successive increases, to hold the line is such a big deal. That it's really, really important. So just some headlines. So X, Twitter, Elon's talking about taking it off free and going behind a paywall. Slowing food prices drive shock fall in inflation. So are you seeing any of that, Jalf? As in, from a supply perspective, are you seeing any drops in prices?
Drops, there's never any drops in prices. Once the prices go up, they stay there. Maybe it's dropping in terms of what they are purchasing for, but they're not passing on those costs to the end consumer, for sure, 100%. It never happens. I mean, the costs are ridiculous, and they're gonna. I mean, I can't see the costs. The energy company is not going to say that. Oh yeah, have you ever seen the petrol prices go down? They might go. I've only seen the petrol prices go down by 1 or 2 pence, but they've never gone down significantly ever. So nothing goes down; it always goes up. There's always going to be inflation. It's just at what level it is.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, obviously someone's tracking it. I think they're tracking general prices. But yeah, it's a bit scary. The other thing, it's not ready. It's not ready for the steep in centenarians. So those living 100 plus, because we're seeing more and more people live longer. It's a bit crazy, isn't it? To think. I mean, as a kid, when you got if someone was my age, they'd be past it. I said genuinely, if someone was saying that you were my age, whatever age I am, still got another half a century to go to reach that
Mm.
100 years. It's crazy to think.
Ammar, you're intermittent again. You're in and out.
Man, sorry.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
It's just funny. Don't know why that is. Must be a dodgy mic.
Could be that
Fix
dodgy.
it.
It could be that dodgy brand new computer that you bought.
Yeah, that's it. I've sat here and gone, it's together. It's like bread. It's this. These things, and it's going to tell me my headphones are on charge. Amazing. Headphones on charge. Anyway, it's great to have all the best gear, but no idea. As they say, that's what my wife said to me when I bought these trainers. So I bought these trainers to do the Great North Run. They're called Vaporfly. Vaporfly. They've got like heels like that. And they're banned from lots of regulated runs. They're banned from lots of events.
Right.
And the you know how normally like air bubbles are on the heel. These have like air bubbles front of your foot.
Okay.
So that they're lifted and they're a bit like boat shape is what they are. They're shaped in a boat. And they are comfortable. And they do give you a slight competitive advantage because they force you off the floor, is what they do, which is good. Anyway, the business topic of the week, recognizing both of us are going to go in a few minutes. So Jalf, 10 must-have qualities of a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is a journey filled with challenges and opportunities. To thrive in this ever-evolving landscape, aspiring entrepreneurs must possess certain qualities that set them apart. We're going to explore the 10 must-have qualities of a successful entrepreneur and provide insights into how these traits contribute to entrepreneurial success. So the first one, visionary thinking. Successful entrepreneurs have a clear vision of what they want to achieve. They inspire others with their dreams and set audacious goals. Visionary thinking serves as the compass that guides entrepreneurs through the uncharted waters, helping them navigate towards their desired destinations. Resilience in the face of adversity and setbacks. Resilience is key. Entrepreneurs like Winfrey have faced numerous challenges on their path to success but persevered. Adaptability. The business world is constantly evolving, and successful entrepreneurs quick to adapt to change. Risk-taking. Entrepreneurship inherently involves risk, and successful entrepreneurs embrace it. Problem-solving skills. Entrepreneurs face a myriad of problems daily. They need sharp problem-solving skills to navigate these challenges. Determination. Determination drives entrepreneurs to push through obstacles and setbacks. Determination is the relentless engine that keeps entrepreneurs on the path to their dreams. Time management. Efficient time management is crucial for productivity. Time management is the compass that keeps entrepreneurs on course, ensuring they make the most of every precious moment. Leadership abilities. Entrepreneurs must lead their teams effectively. Leadership abilities are the guiding star. Inspires, guides entrepreneurs and their teams towards shared goals. Networking and relationship building. Building a strong professional network is essential. Networking and relationship building are the bridges that connect entrepreneurs to valuable resources and opportunities. Financial literacy, understanding finances is vital for business success. Financial literacy is the compass that helps entrepreneurs navigate complex terrain of business finances. In conclusion, successful entrepreneurs possess a combination of these 10 qualities which drive their achievements in the competitive world of business. Which ones do you relate with? Who, Jalf?
I think you relate to most of those, Ammar. I think for me, one of the most important ones that you've mentioned is, resilience. You just got to be able to feel defeated when something goes wrong and be able to pick yourself up and go again and go again. And that could be on a daily basis, a weekly basis, hourly basis. But general, I think if you're built in that way to have that resilience, you need that, because being successful isn't just, you can't just take it for granted. And it's not it's not like a 1 week wonder where you perform for a week and that's it, you become successful. It's about that longevity, maintaining that mindset for a long period of time, and it almost being kind of, it has to be part of your DNA, and then you have a chance to be able to be there for a long period of time, which is what business should be about. You see these, I don't know, you don't want to be like a pop song where it's like a one-hit wonder. Unless you're a one-hit wonder and you make like billions of pounds from it. But generally, sustainability in business is like very important.
My weakest area, to be honest, is that time management. And it's interesting for me to say that, because I managed to cram in so much in, as in, if I look at how much I can get through, but it's not simply the time management element. I think it's what you're doing with your time as well. You can fill your day, you can fill your diary, and you can be involved in everything everywhere. But I need to take a leaf out of your book and just concentrate on that single key thing, don't I? That's what I need to do.
Well, maybe it's not, because maybe I don't have those dynamic qualities that you have, and you can have lots of what do they say? Lots of something and lots of pies. Lots of fingers and lots of pies.
Lots of pies. You can just eat lots of pies and be bigger. Yeah. No, you can, and I must admit, what that's helped me do is take that risk and spread that risk, and then become a bit more resilient from it and through it and things like that. So anyway, hoping that the team are here somewhere. Let me see, where are they? I don't know where they are. Here, wonderful, delighted. Yeah, so here's Martha, innovation expert extraordinaire, and Stephen James Digital. I'd love to know who the James is. Anyway, it's a conversation. And is Stephen joining us, Martha?
He should be.
No, he should be.
As in, he is currently logging on.
All right. Okay. Wonderful. Anyway, you've been listening to Ammar and
Jalf.
live on our weekly radio show on YouTube across the World Wide Web. And stay tuned for Martha and Stephen with their innovation ignition session and all things great in the world. Is that all right?
Excellent. Let you guys continue. Enjoy.
Don't forget the ABC Awards in 3 weeks. Nominations close next week. Already a whole range of finalists have been shortlisted. Some wonderful people. We'll be talking a lot more about that next week. Until then, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Bye.
Thanks, Ammar. Thanks, Jeff. Well, thanks to them too. Another great little show there, as usual. Yeah, so I'm here with Martha. Stephen, how are you doing, Martha?
Yeah, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, just jumping on there. Yeah, I think we're just here to let everybody know. Well, actually, we'll follow on a little bit about the ABC Awards there. So Ammar kind of mentioned you know, not long now, not too long. I think it's October 19th.
Yes, it is. It's actually 4 weeks. He said 3 weeks. It's
Did
4
he?
weeks.
He's getting too excited, I think. Yeah, so that's coming up pretty quickly. It's coming on really quickly. And again, this is my first ABC Awards. So it's new for me. But yeah, I think we're selling out pretty fast as well. There's only a few limited spaces left, limited
Yep.
tickets, limited tables. So if anybody out there wants to attend, wants to come and have some fun, some nice food, celebrate the wider Asian community, then yeah, there's some very sparing tickets left, tables. So yeah, we recommend jumping on the website, abconnections.org, so the next. And I think it's /awards-packages, Martha?
Let me just double check.
Okay.
It is, yes, abconnections.org/awards-packages. And
Great.
then you can fill in the form and book your table.
Or ticket. I
Yeah.
think tickets are about £120, is that right?
Yeah.
Each? Yeah.
And a table for 10 is 1,000. So
Yes.
bit of a discount.
Great stuff. So yeah, so just kind of round that off for the ABC Awards coming October 19th. Still a few tickets and tables left. Before we jump into innovation and our partner brand Yola, which we've been kind of working on this past couple of weeks. We've had some new website updates. We've recently done a workshop yesterday with an organization called the Academic Health and Life Science Network, which I believe you attended, Martha. I think you helped facilitate. Is that right?
Yes, I did. It was a very busy day. We get a lot done in these workshops. For example, yesterday we had 3 special guests, including Sean Foy from the British Business Bank and Rhiannon Nightingale from the Foresight Group, and then Raman Segal from Remarketing. And he was talking about his journey and internationalization and moving to Boston and all of that sort of thing. Was really interesting because all the people we're working with are businesses who are looking for investment or to expand internationally. And then we also did some pitch deck exploration, what goes into a pitch deck, how to pitch well, and everyone got the chance to go around the room and deliver their little elevator pitch. I mean, there's a lot of people in the room, so it's quite scary, even just delivering like 3 sentences to sort of 40 or 50 people.
Can be. I mean, I've experienced it. I did a Yola workshop in the past, and
Yeah,
it certainly can be, but it's really beneficial.
Yeah,
It forces
definitely.
you to get it out of you, and you understand a lot more.
Yeah. And then what else did we do? And then we ended the day by sort of doing a visioning exercise. Everyone had to imagine where they were in 10 years, everything that had succeeded, and sort of tell the story of how they got there, again, to the whole room.
Yeah. That's different to the one I did.
Yeah.
So that's changed. And it seems like you change this up a lot, Martha. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Diversify.
Definitely. Each workshop is different. So, you know, come to another one, slightly different again. Depends who's in the room, what the goal is.
Yeah.
I think the one you went to was more for startups, people with a sort of idea, whereas this one is for businesses who may be a little bit more established.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think we had some businesses there who'd sort of been running for about 20 years or so, and were looking to sort of work out what their next steps were to continue innovating. And
I guess that's where the
growing.
diagnostic comes into it, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. The diagnostic on our website now, which is exciting.
Yeah, we've got we've built a bit of an innovation scorecard on the Yola website now. So if anybody does really want to find out how innovative they are or their business is, you can now visit www.yola.com and go to the training page. And at the top of the training page, there is a little link that says find out what your score is, and you'll be scored on a number of questions and whether or not you need to, I'm going to say, seek help with training regarding innovation, which is what Yola can help with. And yeah, it's a nice little exercise, I guess, a little diagnostic tool to find out. Because you know, some people, they don't realize whether they're kind of stuck in a rut. I'm gonna say, like, that's kind of my look on it. Because they're just getting through everyday life with a business, you know, going on. They probably haven't even looked at the business plan in the past 12 months, right? And
Yeah.
and they're just getting on with it, and they don't realize until actually somebody prompts them. I guess this is me prompting people to go and have a look at and check your score out and see if you do need some help. And again, this links in with the day yesterday for Martha on the workshop where, you know, Yola can help. You know, we organize rapid daily workshops if need be for specific businesses, or we can come together as a community on a single workshop. And we, you know, as Martha's been explaining, get right into it and find out what your problems are, what the pains are, provide the gains, solutions. It's a really good day out, I'm going to call it, to help your business. So I think what else happened yesterday, Martha, was
well, there was a very nice lunch. That was a highlight, definitely. It was a lot of good connections made as well. I've sort of described what we did. There's a lot more that goes into it than just the sort of summary that I gave. Like everyone said that it's a very full-on day, but it starts you thinking, and a lot of people then go home and then they're lying in bed that night rethinking everything that's been done and like, oh yes, that's what I could do. Or
absolutely,
you know, epiphanies once you've got time to actually think things through.
Yeah, we call it the Yola moment.
Yes, exactly.
Those epiphanies. I had it when I did mine. I had exactly the same for me when I finished the workshop that night. You know, things play around in your head, and I think sometimes you have to actually just write them down on paper to process them, because it does invigorate you. It really, really does. Really well worth attending.
Yeah, and everyone was talking about how nice it was because a lot of these people are still working in the business a lot every day, getting bogged down in the day-to-day stuff. Whereas a day like this is a chance to like step back a bit, think about the bigger picture, actually start planning what you're going to do for the next 5, 10, 20 years, which can be a lot more exciting and like reinvigorate your motivation to keep going as well.
But it's also nice to get the team out as well into a different kind of scenario and situation, or, you know, out of the actual office or out of the workplace together, having some fun, because it is fun as well. You know,
Yes, definitely.
It does take a lot of mental energy, don't get me wrong. But it is a really good exercise to get everybody out and together and away from, you know, even the hierarchy in a way. You know, it's a team effort. And there's some really good fun exercises and learning to be had at the workshop as well.
And networking, because obviously everyone there this time, specifically, we're in the health and life sciences sector. So we went around the room and introduced ourselves, and also explained if we had one wish, what would we fix in the world, which produced some interesting responses. But by the time that I'd finished, everyone was writing down names of people that they wanted to talk to at break and at lunchtime, because you might have a problem and someone in that room can fix that problem for you, or know someone that can fix it. So yeah,
that happened with myself as well, first-hand experience. You get that at the end, and it's probably the most beneficial part of the day sometimes, if you think about it, because, you know, these workshops that we run, you can have a mixture of businesses in one workshop, or we can make it bespoke for a full organization, right? So it's just your organization within that workshop. That's not an issue. But I think sometimes you do get more benefits from it being a mixed workshop, because you get third-party views and opinions and input to your problems, which is sometimes, again, we'll go back to the Yola moment. There's an epiphany in there somewhere that you're just looking for and you may need. And so, yeah, it's really, really beneficial. So I guess one of my questions to you, Martha, was going to be, how do the business or attendees benefit? But I think we've just nailed that.
Yeah, I think we have.
I think, you know, the other thing from the workshops would be the food, like you mentioned. You get some nice free food during the workshops as well. I'm not too sure, is that from, because I think yesterday was at the DoubleTree near the airport, is that right?
Yes, it was very good. I liked the mozzarella sticks at lunch. That was my favorite bit. And plenty of tea and coffee to keep you going, keep the energy going.
Of course, of course. I'm not a coffee person myself, but yeah. But if you want to find out more about the Yola programs, our exercises, our workshops, our courses, regarding training for innovation within your business, or even for yourself, or even if you're innovating for others, then I'd recommend visiting our website, which is www.yola.com, and this is how you spell Yola, is YOHLAR.com. And if you go on there, I'd recommend you sign up for the newsletter, because we do give away a lot of free tips, tutorials, and guides regarding business innovation or business model innovation. And yeah, we do this on I think it's a bi-weekly basis, every fortnight now. And it's well worth it, because we'll obviously provide you our next events that we may be hosting. Sometimes we do free webinars. But obviously, if you do want to inquire about your own workshop for your own organization, or even join one of the next workshops that we'll pencil in, which is kind of a more communal workshop for multiple businesses, then yeah, visit the website, inquire, make an inquiry, or like I say, sign up for the newsletter to find out more, and we can take it from there.
Yeah.
Got anything else you want to add, Martha?
Can't think of anything.
I
Not
think
really.
that might be the end of it. We have to wrap up. Yeah, just remember, if you want to innovate your business, visit yola.com. And of course, we've got the awards coming up, ABC Awards, on 19th of October. Still a few tables, still a few tickets, but they are selling fast. Visit abconnections.org. And yeah, I hope everybody has a really good weekend.
Yep.
Until next week.
Yes. Bye.
See you later.